Hi guys, I'm Taiki from taikiteasy.com. Today I want to talk about how we can enjoy our work. Actually, every Sunday I'm uploading a video in Japanese in which I talk about how you can enjoy your work more. And because Sunday tends to be a bad day because tomorrow, the next day, we all start working, and not many people. I don't know, but maybe not many people are really excited to go to go to offices, right? So I wanted to I wanted to offer some kind of insights or a perspective that could turn our work into a meaningful or more enjoyable place. And today I would like to discuss this book, Man's Search for Meaning, to talk about this book and extract essences from this book and try to take advantage of those essences to make our work more enjoyable. Because why do I talk about this book? Because the other day I went to Vienna, Austria, and I went to Viktor Frankl Museum. There I learned and thought about a lot of things. So today I want to talk about that. I would like to summarize in 3 points. Well, of course, there are a lot of messages in this book. Oh, by the way, I forgot to introduce this book. This is written by Austrian psychologist named Viktor Frankl, and he was in a Nazi concentration camp during the World War II. And he survived from there. And this book is about his observation inside the concentration camp in Nazi under the Nazi era, and he there he observed a lot of things that take place in the concentration camp, and he extracts several or he writes lessons, like psychological lessons from about how people survived in the concentration camp, or what was the difference between those who survived and those who couldn't survive. Okay, and there are a lot of lessons and essences in this book, but I would like to summarize it in 3 points. The first is the first one is the importance of curiosity. The second is the importance of the sense of humor. The third message is that we always have the freedom to decide how to interpret your external world, no matter what the external world is, or no matter how hard the external situation is. So I would like to talk about these 3 things, and I hope you can apply these lessons to enjoy your work more. The first one is the curiosity, and he is saying that he became curious about what's going on inside the camp, and it's even disrespectful, right? Because as you know, what happened in the Nazi concentration camp is one of the most cruel and inhumane and terrible things in human history. But even in that situation, he became curious about what was happening, and he observed what was happening around him out of curiosity. He's a psychologist. He was a psychologist even before going to the concentration camp. So maybe he was well trained to do that kind of things. But anyways, even in that kind of harsh situation, he didn't lose curiosity, and he managed to control his mentality to observe, to objectively observe what's happening around him, and that really saved him. So in our work too, when we face some hardships and challenges, we tend to take it very personally, and we might lose our calmness. But even in that kind of situation, we can always maintain our curiosity, to observe, to neutrally observe what's happening around us. That's one thing. For example, even if your boss scolds you really harshly, you can neutrally observe that situation and analyze, for example, why is he so angry, or why what's the dynamics behind his anger, because your boss might be scolded by his boss too, and his boss might be scolded by his boss too. So there are a lot of dynamics behind one phenomenon. So by analyzing those things objectively, probably you can see more aspects of your workplace in depth. That's what I believe, and for that, curiosity is very important. And curiosity makes your work more enjoyable and full of lessons, full of learnings. I think. And the second lesson is the importance of sense of humor. He is saying that those who didn't lose sense of humor even in that kind of harsh situation in concentration camp tend to survive. So the probability of the survival was higher among those who maintained sense of humor. This is really I feel sympathy with what he's saying, because that's what I'm always trying to do. So even in a harsh situation, even in a terrible situation like Nazi concentration camp, by maintaining sense of humor and by integrating that sense of humor into our lives, maybe we can energize our daily lives, and it could be our energy for survival in day-to-day lives. So if you are having a hard time in your workplace, maybe you would want to try that. You would want to bring a little bit of sense of humor and try to enjoy your work. And the third message, I think this is the most important thing that he wanted to say. You always have the freedom to decide how to interpret the world around you. So even in the harshest situation in the world, you still have the freedom to choose to decide how to interpret what's happening to you. So in that sense, nobody can take away that freedom from us. So in that sense, people are always free. That's what he's saying. So I think this is an important lesson. No matter how hard the situation around you is, or no matter how terrible the external world is, you are always free regarding how to interpret that situation. So you can always take advantage of that situation and learn something from that situation. And that's exactly what he did in the concentration camp. As you know, the concentration camp situation is terrible, but he tried to observe what's happening around him and try to learn something from that situation. And then he wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and he concludes that in any kind of situation, people's life has meanings. And so if normal people can't do that, right? Normal people just get depressed of the harsh situation in the concentration camp, and they become desperate, and they probably suffer mental illness and die there. But he chose to learn something from that situation and wrote this book. So that's my message today. So if you are having a hard time in your workplace, maybe you would want to first be curious and observe what's happening around you neutrally, so that you can analyze the situation in depth. Second, you might want to bring a certain amount of sense of humor into your workplace, so that the situation can change a little bit. And the third, you don't want to forget that you always have the freedom to choose how to interpret the situation around you. So you can always learn something from the external world, no matter how harsh the situation is. Thank you very much. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please register to the channel. Bye. I'll see you soon.